This Gigabyte Aero 15 Classic comes with this black body, which is very professional looking, and it is also in a very low profile type of aesthetics right here. So if you go to a meeting room, you can just put it down and no one would suspect a thing because of the hardware that it packs inside. And then comes the I/O ports. At the right side here, you get a full-size Ethernet port, a USB 3.0, which is 5 gigabits per second, and then a full-size HDMI port, a USB Type-C port here, not Thunderbolt, and then you also get a 3.5mm combo audio jack here. And on the right side, you get your Kensington lock, your power jack here, and then two more USB 3.1, which is 10 gigabits per second, a Thunderbolt port right here, Type-C Thunderbolt port, and then a full-size SD card reader. So in terms of I/O, I would say that it's very solid, especially with the full-size SD card reader right here, because of how thin this whole laptop is, and it's just perfect for creators like us. To open up the Aero 15, you can also do it with just one finger here. The hinge design is fantastic. And opening up the laptop, you can see that the Gigabyte logo at the back here is lit up in white. Here you can see that the Aero 15 Classic comes with this beautiful 15.6-inch 1080p 144Hz monitor. This is a fantastic looking display and it is certified by Pantone as well. And it also comes with two more different flavors. You can get 15.6-inch 1080p in 240Hz refresh rate or at 4K 60 FPS. All of them are Pantone certified, so you can get fantastic colors out of this thing, especially, once again, for creative work. Going back to the display itself, you can see that this fantastic display comes with a very thin bezel all around the three edges, the two sides and the top. But at the bottom here, the chin is a bit big, especially the camera placement down here. And a surprise to no one, you will get a nose cam because of how this thing is angled. It is not even flat on the screen itself, it's a bit in between the hinge and the screen itself. So yeah. So this is how the webcam looks like. I know you can see my nostrils. Then comes the keyboard of the Aero 15 Classic. When you first look at it, the keys are a bit smaller, but they actually feel fantastic. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Tactility is good. When you press it, it has a good travel, and keys can spring back really quickly and you feel really responsive when typing on this keyboard. However, the Aero cluster here is a bit too cramped up, which I do like it if Gigabyte can just move the Aero cluster down by just one row, and that would actually space things out and you can get a feel on where the arrow keys are by just feeling them without seeing it. So that's my only complaint with the keyboard. And then onto the trackpad itself. The trackpad is actually very good. It's smooth tracking, palm rejection is decent enough, and it's using Windows Precision trackpad drivers as well. So you can have all the Windows gestures and whatnot built right into this laptop. Then comes the hardware of the Gigabyte Aero 15 Classic. Underneath this backplate here, you can find an i7 9750H with a NVIDIA GeForce 1660 Ti here. So for that hardware, you can get pretty much very smooth experience for all your AAA games. We tested that you can get Shadow of the Tomb Raider at around 70 frames per second if you go to the highest graphical settings. So that is fantastic. And then to complement all of that hardware, you also get 16 gigs of Samsung DDR4 DRAM, and they really put an emphasis on that because Gigabyte really just used consistent list of hardware across the entire Aero 15 Classic. So you will get Pantone certified screens, Samsung DRAM, and also Intel 760p 512GB SSD inside here. And speaking of SSD, you get double M.2 slots here because of that battery right there, which is taking up the 2.5-inch drive space. So with a larger battery, this is more than 90 Wh. It's really near the flight limit, by the way. And with that battery, it takes up the 2.5-inch drive space, but you get double M.2, so that's an option too. So speaking of that battery, right, you can get about 5 hours worth of heavy usage on the battery itself. We tried 5 hours on Photoshop, Chrome, and also some YouTube videos on the way alongside with it. And then you also get additional 1 hour of sleep time. So totaling up, you can get quite an okay battery life out of this thing. It's not the most impressive, but considering the performance that you get while on battery, it is somewhat balanced. So opening up the laptop again, you can see this massive sticker at the bottom right here. So the most important thing that I want to highlight now is the Microsoft Azure AI. So this is actually a cloud-based AI ecosystem. So whenever anyone opens any software that requires a lot of CPU count, for example, so it will automatically learn through a sort of hive mind, and then whenever other users open the same application, it will automatically boost more performance to your CPU. So what happens is that you do get a bit more improvement, but you don't get a very huge improvement because you're still limited by your hardware right here. But what you get here is improvement in terms of your quality of life while working on whatever applications you're working on. So if you're worried about your privacy, you can actually disable the AI entirely. So yeah, you have that option as well. So in terms of price right here in the Malaysian market, this Gigabyte Aero 15 Classic comes at 6,999 ringgit. It's not the cheapest laptop out there, but considering the hardware and of course the list of promised hardware that you can get here, especially the Pantone display and also the Samsung DRAM, it is quite an okay proposition considering the solid choice of I/O right here and also the very small body yet very solid, and it's relatively lightweight as well, and also considering that you have total of 2 fans and 2 heatsinks at the back for maximum thermal performance. Overall, I think the Gigabyte Aero 15 Classic has a very special place in the market, and well, if you have the cash to spare, consider getting this laptop. So that is all for the Gigabyte Aero 15 Classic. Once again, I'll leave you links for all the information you need down below in the description. And thanks for watching everyone. I hope you subscribe and ring that notification bell if you want to see more of this. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!